It is a good day to code, and for today, we're going to create an MS Access database and connect it to our VB.NET application. First, we have to create the database. For this example, we're gonna name it AccessDB. And then here we have the default layout. If you want to add elements to your table, you can click to add and then select the data type. For our example, we're going to need inputs for username and password, in which we will select the short text. For the short text, the inputs are limited to 255 character. And then we can select the field validation. For example, username has to be unique and for password to be required. An example here, we're going to input test1 as username, password as 123, and then input another test data, test1, and once we try to enter the password, it notifies me that the changes requested to the table were not successful because they have duplicate entry. So we're going to change from test1 to test2 and it should be okay. We're gonna save the table as users, and there we go. Now we have our database in MS Access. If you want to add other tables, you can just go to create, add table, and then you can input other data. So next we're going to go to our Windows form application. We're gonna create a new form, Windows form app, in VB.NET. We're just going to call it Connect Access. Once your project has loaded, go to View, Solution Explorer, right-click on the project name, go to Manage NuGet Packages or NuGet Packages, and then go to Browse and search for system.data.olydb, and install. Each time that you create a project and would like to connect your MS Access to the VB.NET using the OLYDB, you're going to have to install it for each project. So let's go back to our form. Next, we have to go to our Server Explorer. Right-click on Data Connection, Add Connection. Our data source, by default, it's Microsoft Access database file, which is correct, but you can also use Microsoft SQL Server. We're going to look for our database that we have created, which is AccessDB. Once you have imported the file, test the connection. And once it is connected or succeeded, you can click OK. To check if it is properly connected, we are going to create two buttons, connect and disconnect, and then a label called status, LBL status, to output the status of the connection. At the very top of our form, we're going to import our OLEDB. Import system.data.ole. And then next, let's go to the connect button. We're just going to prepare it for now. We can get rid of the form. Okay. Inside the public class, we're going to declare our connection string. So we're going to save it to the connection string variable. dim connection dim connection string as string equals. Now, to find your connection string, let's go back to our database. Go to data connections, and then to your database properties. Under the connection, you have connection string. Double click, copy, and then paste. That should be the file path for your database. Okay, next, using the OLEDB classes, we're going to connect to the database. So first, let us use the connection variable as new OLEDB connection. The OLEDB connection represents an open connection to a data source, which is located inside the connection string or the path. So now we are able to connect to our database inside the connection string using the OLEDB connection, which is saved. For our connect button, first we're going to use the try keyword to prevent any possible errors during the connection. First, we're going to set the condition if the connection dot state. The state will check the current state of the connection to the database equals connection state that. First, since we are trying to connect, first set it up as closed. If the connection state is closed, then we are going to open the connection. So connection dot open. Next, we have the label. We have put the name as LBL status. If the connection is open, it's going to say status connected, and it is also going to turn green. So for color equals color dot green. And if otherwise, if there is an error, we're going to use the message box to show error. We're going to use the same logic for the disconnect, but if the connection state is open, we're going to change it to closed, the status to disconnect, and the color to red. Close only, no D. Close. So let us run the project. Connect. There we go, it's connected, and then disconnect.